Welcome guys to another episode of the United Filmmakers Project. My name is Tom Antos, and in the last episode we basically finished filming really late, and on top of that we had to scrap one of the scenes. So as you can guess, day number 2 here of our shoot of Clint D'Souza's Actor's Life short film did not go as smoothly. But anyways, if you guys are joining us back, then hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, then I would urge you to first watch episode 1 and 2 of the United Filmmakers Project, in which you can find the links for that in the description of this video, along with the link to the finished film. Anyways, let's start episode 3.
So today we are definitely late, because we should be already on set starting to shoot, but the reason is because when you're shooting with a big camera that shoots raw and have all this data, you really do need like a data management team, somebody who's on location constantly copying the footage and all that stuff. Basically what happened is we were delayed yesterday, but also forgot some equipment, had to come back to the studio. By the time I got home, there was basically too much stuff to do. Copying all these batteries for the monitors, for the wireless video systems, for the wireless focus, for the cameras. On top of that, copying all the cards. And the main ones being for the footage for the cameras themselves, the actual film, and it's a whole lot of data. And basically I finally said it said there was 2 or 3 hours left to copy. I was like, alright, so I'll go to sleep. I was planning to get around 5 hours of sleep so I could actually function, but what happened is, like I said, I woke up 5 hours later and the copying stopped. Started copying it again, and so we finally do have one copy made, but only one copy, which is not something you want to do. So we have to wait, because I basically started sending it, so it starts copying it, basically another copy to another drive.
Just arrived at the location. Luckily it's only 20 minutes away from my house, so that's a bonus. Didn't have to wake up as early to get here. But yeah, so day 2, location 2, and we're gonna get it rolling again. Here during the whole day. So fashionably late, gentlemen.
Yep.
But we are united for the Filmmakers Project.
I barely got it.
Hello. Hi everyone.
We only have one copy of the footage.
So I'm backing up the footage from yesterday. We copied it to one hard drive, making another copy this drive.
And here's the best way we can do it, because we're behind schedule and stuff. Rehearse the whole scene with the actors, like just do the whole scene, don't worry about camera angles. Once I see the whole scene, because I know what the scene is in the script, but I want to see what you're thinking in terms of the actors' placement. Once I see it, then you can show me what shots you're thinking. I can also give you my input of what's the most efficient way so we can make sure we shoot that. At the end of the day, you know how it is, like you might have like pretty cool shots planned, but sometimes it's not released to getting there. I think so we need to just make sure we get the scene covered.
So since we had an extra late start to this day, and we had a really big scene, probably I think this is the biggest scene actually of the whole film with the most actors to shoot on this day, I kind of wanted to just hit the ground running and right away kind of figure out what I need to do, what are the shots and angles. And the best way to do that, as you saw, is I always ask the director to kind of rehearse the scene with the actors, go through the whole scene, show me where the placement of the actors is, what the action is exactly. Because only once you've actually witnessed the whole scene take place can you then figure out the coverage, and you can then start breaking it down into all the different angles, and this way you can figure out what's the fastest way that you can capture this whole scene. At the end of the day, I wanted to not only shoot this whole scene but also catch up for the late start. Now the problem that we had right away was that one of the key actors did not show up, and so again, without wasting time waiting for him, we then decided with Clint that, hey, let's shoot that quick scene that we were supposed to shoot the night before, but we didn't get to it. Let's just shoot it right here, even though originally we were planning to shoot in a completely different location. But in the corner of the studio, there was like this little couch there, you see, and basically we set it up to make it look sort of like a living room. And the scene is pretty simple. The main character comes in, sits on this couch, turns on the TV and watches the newscast. Now, we didn't really have a TV set, but we didn't really need to, because we knew that we could just cut later on to a random shot of a TV. So what we really needed to do was to kind of make this corner look like it's his living room. And we kind of wanted to make it look like a sort of a dark living room, with this sort of a blue light there coming in from the top just to add some atmosphere. And then we had this practical lamp you see here with the paper shade. Unfortunately, that lamp did not allow us to adjust the intensity of the light, so instead I put this little LED light behind that lamp, and I used that LED light to actually illuminate the paper in that lamp. And that really allowed me to dial in the intensity of the light there. And then the third light is this giant softbox I set up, and as you can see in front of it we had basically a light stand with a whole bunch of gels taped to it that we would then rotate on this light stand. And what this would do is would kind of create this slight variation in the color of the light and the intensity of the light, to kind of simulate again as if the light from the TV is changing intensity and color. And altogether, when you edit the scene with the angle of the TV or what the character is watching on TV and the right sound design, it really looks like he's actually in his living room watching a TV set.
What a day. So weird.
Breaking news. Local business owner Omar Ansari was shot and killed today on set while filming his new commercial. The shooter has been identified as indie film actor Jose Delgado.
So how much money do you guys have here?
We have a lot of money for our drug dealer. Well, this is one reel.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Has to make it look a bit authentic.
This here is to cover this part, yeah.
Wait, there's one more.
See, that's enough. It looks like there's money
Okay,
here.
well, last.
Yeah, just quiet, please.
Whenever you're done shooting a scene, it's always important to get room tone. Now, keep in mind, when you're doing that, it's always a good idea to just have all your actors, crew, and all the equipment just stay there, everybody hold still and quiet, because if you start moving things out, then the ambient sound, sometimes in the way the sound bounces around, is just going to make it sound a little bit different.
Right, thank you.
So Tom and Clint just had a conversation planning out the remaining shots. This location we have just 4 more hours here, and basically just doing a quick calculation for the number of shots we need to get. We only have like 15 minutes per shot, so there's no way we could get it done at that amount of time. So Tom suggested doing everything handheld. Clint was hoping to use a Steadicam here, but the only option at this point is just doing it handheld. So just making the most of the situation.
I'm gonna quit smoking if I want to be a star, eh?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I thought smoking sells the bad boy image.
What's it been like today in terms of getting audio? Any challenges?
I don't know. I mean, I think every shoot has its challenges, but the first shoot we did was pretty simple because they're close-up shots. But now they're doing like a really wide angle of a big room. So I just gotta think about mic placement, where I could put it like close enough to the action, but yet have it hidden.
You're a one-man audio crew, so sometimes it will be challenging with
it's gonna be challenging.
those big scenes, lots of actors.
That's why I was even thinking of getting extra mics and just having like plant mic and stuff like that. But we actually got a workaround since it's a scene.
What's going on up here?
What's going on? I'm trying to have a conversation with the camera.
It's
a private conversation, okay?
I'm spilling my soul.
I'll let you ladies gossip.
And yeah, the new one is keeping them down. So you guys get that. For now,
Right now, Clint is doing a walkthrough through the scene.
Just by looking at the time, which we were already over 2 hours behind schedule, I told Clint, the director, that I don't think we can shoot it exactly how he wanted to, which was all Steadicam shots and it's kind of very, meticulous kind of camera movements. I just told him we don't have the time for that. Let's make sure we get the scene, and the fastest way to get a scene is actually shooting in handheld, because if, let's say, the actors don't hit their marks or stuff like that, you can always with the camera slightly readjust the position because you're hand holding everything, and so this way you're not wasting time, you're not redoing take after take, and again, you can move much quicker than having to set up a tripod for each angle and all that stuff. So the first thing we did is we had the actors go through the whole scene while the actor and the directors kind of figured out exactly what the action is. that's when I'm always kind of on the side watching and trying to figure out also if there's something in there that I can maybe, you know, add to in terms of ideas, so that it makes the scene look better, but also so that it makes it faster and easier to shoot. Once you have it all rehearsed, then it's pretty easy. You just kind of go quickly shot by shot and just kind of bang it out. And I usually like to start with the widest angle because that's gonna dictate what I can do with the lights, especially when I get closer and closer for the like close-ups of all the actors later on. Now in this space it was never interesting looking in terms of like basically what I could do, because there was all these white walls and all this light bouncing from the windows. For the wide shots, you know, I didn't really worry too much. I just kind of overall added light by bouncing it off the ceilings, so we just get this overall nice, you know, bright ambient lighting. So even though it's this very dark scene, it's still a comedy. So I wanted to add a little bit of this color to these shots. So especially in the close-ups, you'll notice that the edge lighting has kind of this pinkish color. And then the key light would be another LED light that we would, again, just very quickly move around, you know, to make sure that each actor looks good in his angle. And then overall, the rest of the space I don't have to worry about, because it was just had this fill of this ambient white lighting bouncing off the ceiling.
Action.
Where the hell is Simon's replacement, huh? Can somebody please call him and find out where he is? Anybody! What the hell is this? Hey!
Okay, I better not fuck this up.
But shut up! You thought you'd get away with what you did to brother? And what? Anthony! Yeah, brother Anthony!
Well, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna take you up, bitch!
That's a big mistake, huh? Second you pull that trigger, you're as good as...
Yeah, let's get the
cartel
out of here.
In the end, we actually, not only did we end up catching up for the last time in the morning, but we also, like I said, shot that scene that we weren't able to shoot the day before, and we even had time to kind of goof around before lunchtime. And lunchtime was really fun, because on this day especially, we had like extra nice food, because that was actually going to be part of the scene. Because in the film, the characters actually walk in to this indie studio, and they notice in the lobby that there's this really nice lunch laid out for everybody.
That's a spread.
So the props are ready to be eaten.
Yeah, props are goodbye props.
I found it in the... Is that true?
Oh, cool. Seal it. After lunch, we just had to do the last part of the scene that we're shooting, which was basically this bloody part of the scene, which is one of the reasons why we decided to do it after lunch, so that the actors didn't have to walk around with all this blood dripping on them and eating lunch that way.
Lucas is over there. Problem. Doesn't Lucas look like a crime scene photographer? Yeah. Dexter 2.0. Yeah.
That's good.
Is it just corn syrup? Yeah?
This is cornstarch and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Food coloring.
She had lunch already though. So. There you go.
Yeah.
So this one is really how to do it, and then we go.
Yeah, I would say like quick shots of
Filmmaking gone bad.
Yeah, so...
Oh yeah.
Number one rule, never lean a mic against the wall like this.
Yeah.
Like what you just did right there.
Yeah, I've been doing it all day.
Anything else, screen?
Do it so loud that his headphones.
Yeah. Action.
Paul, I didn't realize that your job has some hazards, no? Can you not be so close to the lens? Sorry, because that's super long lens.
He's like zoomed in on your nostril.
Like
I almost popped in your drum.
That's exactly it.
Your drum, but...
That's the hazard, no?
No, if you're ready, I can just turn the headphone level down, but...
Yeah.
So we actually finished at this location a bit earlier, so we had a little bit of time to goof around, and now we're moving to the next location for a quick shot, and that will be the day.
Oh no, it's alright.
Ross is doing all the work.
Okay. Bye everybody, pleasure meeting you guys. We are off to the next location. Not only did we catch up, because we started late today because of all the copying all the footage and everything, but the scene that we didn't manage to shoot last night, well, just so happened that, you know, even though we arrived late, one of the actors was late. Well, we're waiting for the other actor. Let's shoot the scene that we didn't get to do yesterday, which was supposed to be in his living room, a guy watching TV. I actually think it looked really cool with the lights and everything, and we had really good lunch. I don't know about you, Lucas, but I really liked it.
It was good, and it was a funny thing. The lunch was also props, right?
Yeah, so that was the only thing, is we set it up. We had to shoot that scene, which I think motivated everybody to work fast because it was a prop. So we had to shoot first, show off the lunch, so then we can actually eat it. So everybody was like, all right, let's get this done. So yeah, that's actually a good motivation tool for future shoots.
Surprisingly, I'm the only one prepared.
The next location was really easy. Actually, it wasn't a big scene, so we were able to get all the shots pretty quickly, even though when we got there it was raining. So we kind of had to wait out the rain, but already while it was raining we were kind of setting up the gear and just trying to figure out how we can best shoot it. Now, one thing I can tell you right away that I love about working with the Ursa Mini, whether it's the Pro or 4.6K version, is the dynamic range. I mean, overall the camera has really, I think, beautiful colors, amazing menu, all these things, but the dynamic range in this camera is pretty much on par with like the, you know, Arri Alexa cameras, and actually very similar looking log image. So really it just comes down to the way that you grade the footage, especially when you're shooting in RAW, like I was shooting this whole film on. And obviously the light difference from inside the car and then to the outside was huge. Maybe 3 to 4 f-stops of light difference. Now, even though on the camera, when you look at it with the LUT applied, which is a Rec 709 LUT, it sometimes looks like you're either overexposing the outside or you're underexposing the inside. Once you turn off the LUT and you just look at the log image, you very quickly realize, wow, I'm actually capturing all of that information outside and inside. So you know at the end of the day that you don't have to worry about overlighting the inside, because I know that in post I can just adjust the exposure inside and outside to kind of bring them closer together.
We got Ross here, #1 assistant. We just started working yesterday and we're like in sync. He's always on top of everything.
Another big thank you, Ross. Did most of the heavy lifting. Muscle man.
That's it. That's it for today.
Is it a wrap?
That's enough for today. Are we on time?
Alright guys, cool.
That was perfect. It worked out so good.
So as you guys can see, you know, just because things go badly one day doesn't mean that they have to continue the next day. And as you saw on day 2 of this film, we actually, not only did we manage to catch up, but we managed to shoot all the other things that we didn't get to do the first day and all that stuff. And we finished a little bit on, you know, ahead of schedule. So it went really great. This was actually a pretty short day. We only did around 8 hours altogether. So everybody got to go home at a normal time. We all got to relax for the rest of the day, sleep in, kind of recoup, so that the following day we could continue, and so that we could make sure that we got everything going, you know, according to schedule. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you guys click that like button, share the video, and also, you know, come back and check out episode 4 of the United Filmmakers Project, which is going to be next week. My name is Tom Antos, and as always, if you guys want to stay in touch, you want to be notified about all the videos I do and all that cool stuff, then best way to do it is just go on my website, tomantosfilms.com, and if you want, you can subscribe to the newsletter. While you're there, you'll get some free LUTs as a welcome gift, along with notifications when I actually release some cool new videos, or let's say if I find discounts with some cool new products, things like that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!